Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. We're coming in here with a preview look at the Windows 8. This is the release preview evaluation copy build 8400 looks like. And I want to talk to you about it, what it is, how it works, and all that good stuff. Now, this is still the preview build, so it isn't maybe the final build we're going to see with Windows 8, but it's very close. And let's talk about some of the features and some of the different things that are on here. Now, what's really nice is they've made a smaller footprint to the Windows system. What was very cool was I built a new system and didn't put a CD-ROM in to the system. What I was able to do was I was able to actually boot it and format the drive and start up everything from a 4 megabyte USB card, which is really cool, just to be able to plug in a USB card and be able to install an OS system. So that was very neat, not to have CDs and of course put us into the future of where you don't have to have big data to run an OS system anymore. What's really cool is it's designed with a tile system that you see here with all these different multicolor tiles. You've probably seen them on the Windows Phone systems and in different publications probably too. But what it's designed to do is to be formatted to work with tablets, touch screens in the future of computing in that format. So it's very clean, very light. It doesn't seem as heavy. It doesn't take forever to load and install like its previous versions of Windows. It was very fast and quick. I mean, I was kind of blown away as to how fast it was being done and how fast it installed, and I was just like, is that it? But it does seem to be like it knows what it's doing, and it's very well built. Didn't run into too many problems. I didn't run into any problems with it, to be honest with you, actually, I should say. What this is when you first come in, there'll be a load-in screen. Now, one thing I was disappointed in, it appears that they're making you use a Microsoft login to log in. So I had to use an old Hotmail account that I had with my Hotmail that I have with Microsoft. Now, I since started using it because SkyDrive has really been updated, and SkyDrive has been updated to where it works on iOS devices, so I've been playing with SkyDrive a little bit more. But the SkyDrive, if you're familiar, is the cloud system for Microsoft. They are actually one of the first people to come up with it that I know of. They make you use that account, which really bugs me. I really hate being forced to use someone's email account. One of the things it does, it will suck in all the old emails you have from there and put them in your mail folder. It'll suck in the old people you have from there and put them in your people folder. If you've been on the internet as long as I have, you probably do have an old, MSN Messenger account, Microsoft account. Now, I didn't try using any other sort of accounts, but it did want a Microsoft account to be able to log this into and integrate with your stuff. So I wasn't too excited about that. I still am not. I like the old system of Windows where I could just create a login and password based upon whatever the hell I want to call it. So that was a real bugger. It pulled in like the old database here in people of all the people that I haven't talked to forever. I had to go through and delete hundreds of old contacts that I haven't talked to in like 5 or 6 years since I switched to Gmail. Same thing with the mail. That was really irritating. I still have old crap. This is like an email from, I don't know, 2006 or something. It is kind of interesting. It pulls in the news, and you can get the news icons. You're seeing that flash through video, travel, sports, Xbox Live games. I wasn't really excited to get pushed upon by Xbox Live games, but I did notice that Madden NFL is on there, which is a favorite game of mine, so I may actually use it. But I'm not a big gamer. Finance, your music gets tied in here. This is really irritating too. I don't use music on the Windows system. I either use iTunes, Spotify, or I use the Google Music. So that's irritating. The messaging, I don't really see a point to that either. Once again, it's a lot of tiles. Now, what is nice about this is you can get rid of stuff. So, for example, like Internet Explorer, I can take and right-click on, and I'm right-clicking on down here. You can see where I can unpin this from the Start menu. I can pin to a taskbar, which is in the menu we'll show you next. I can uninstall it, I can open a new window, and I can see all apps. So I can get rid of some of this, what I would call garbage on this system. The only reason to own Internet Explorer is to download Google Chrome and then never use Internet Explorer again. One thing I am disappointed with in so far, and I hope they give you the chance to change somehow, I don't know how they're going to change it, but as I've been installing programs, some of the programs make nice little tiles. They have an app store. We'll get into that in a second. One of the things that's happening is when I'm installing programs, any file within the program directory that is an executable file, an exe file, it is creating a tile for. So for example here, I installed PhotoSync. This is one of my favorite things to flip things between my iOS devices. It installed PhotoSync in the uninstall PhotoSync thing. I don't want that as a tile. I don't want to be looking at that. I don't want that filling my screen. When I move this, this is in a 720p format. When I move this to 1080p, most all of this actually takes up one screen and it looks horrible. You can see here, what else do we have? My Camtasia Studio seems to have multiple different tiles that it's made. Camtasia menu, Camtasia player. I don't want to see all this crap. I just want to see my Camtasia single tile for that. So I've been very disappointed about that sort of system. Apple software update. This really doesn't need to be here. It needs to hide in the start menu. So a lot of cleanup for a lot of mess that has come out here that I'm not really excited about. The mouse help. Do I need the mouse help on a tile? Give me a break. So I'm not really excited where every time I'm adding software, it's making crap. This Bonjour printer wizard is actually part of PhotoSync. I don't need to see this either. So I'm not real happy about that element of it, and hopefully they give me some segment to fix that where they say, look, do you just want the core exe file for something? Now they have something that's very similar and probably a copy of what you might think of as the App Store, and this is becoming very popular with I guess OS systems and of course the app generation or app environment that we have, app economy, whatever you want to call it. So here's their store. You can see there's different things. You can see some different apps, and basically what these do is these are internal apps that can create different programs for you, and they tile on your little start format there. You can see some of the different ones they have, some of the different segments. If you use a Windows phone, you're probably familiar with the little app store. It's just the same as any other app store you might have with iTunes, Android's store, etc., etc. And they've got different segments that you can take and do and get into. What's kind of interesting is I do see, if you've used the Apple's Windows phone, I do see a lot of Apple's programs, or not, I'm sorry, Windows programs in here, and a lot of some of the similar stuff that you see with Apple too, I should really say. I mean, you've got Remote Desktop, Evernote, Fruit Ninja. I'm sure you're familiar with these. USA Today, Google Reader, Box. Let's see, pretty much, I mean, stumble upon. You can see a lot of stuff here that you're probably familiar with in app directories. You can also see there's a panel here on the far right that will pop out from time to time. We have a start menu that will get us back to the start menu. We have a desktop thing that will get us back to the desktop. I don't know if I have other windows filled, if this will fill this, but there aren't other windows, so I'm not really sure what that's about. So you have the App Store. There you go. Have fun with that. So you can go in, you can buy apps, you can buy games. If I want to buy Xbox games, I can do that, all that good stuff. SkyDrive is really cool. It's great for cloud service. Their mapping services here, travel, camera. If you've got this integrated with your webcam, you can do that also, which makes for an interesting thing. So let's do this. You can see here, you can go back to flipping different screens. What you basically do is you ram your mouse into the lower left-hand corner, and you can get that to happen. Now, if you move your mouse, as you can see here, to the bottom right-hand corner, you will get this menu that pops up. You can see it here. It's a gears, devices of settings, start menu, share, and search. And you get the time that gets put up. So you can manage your devices. This is kind of like how to get into your control panel here of different things that you can do adjustments on, how to do tiles, if you want to adjust different power settings, notifications, network, sound, all that sort of good stuff. You can do that from that right-hand side. Let's go into what you would normally be looking for when you would come in. You'd be looking for the desktop. And this is probably what you're familiar with seeing. You can see here some of the looks that you can get by waving the mouse around to the left and the right. So you got your normal desktop that you see here if you're familiar with Windows 7 and other forms of Windows. It's got the same format you're used to seeing, where you've got all the different same old stuff where you're going to run your programs from. One thing that is really irritating about it that I hope they fix is to access the start button. You notice it's not showing here in the bottom left hand corner. You have to ram your mouse into the corner, the very bottom corner, and then hit the start button. One of the problems is, if you notice what my mouse is doing in this bottom left hand corner, is if I move my mouse out just even so slightly, it takes away the start button. What happens is if I move it out slightly without noticing, I end up clicking the most closest button to it, which ironically happens to be, in the original version, I've removed it, is the Internet Explorer, which is really irritating because it's almost like a way of tricking you into using Internet Explorer. So I really hate this. It's really annoying. You really have to drive it into the corner, and if you pull it out ever so slightly, you're screwed. It's really a stupid way to do it. But once you hit it, it will take you back to this tile or start menu, which is interesting, annoying, and something that I don't find myself using because I'm always going to be working off the desktop. Using it otherwise, I haven't run into too many limitations. My Logitech software won't load when it checks the version, but it does plug and play. So it works with my Google Hangouts. It works with any program on the web browser that I'm using video and audio for. It's what I'm making this recording on right now. So it does work from a plug and play concept. You can see here that you can get to different open windows, and from time to time in the bottom here you'll see if I have multiple browser windows open in Chrome, it will show the multiple windows in really small formats. So it's interesting that way. One thing that really bugs me is if I'm in the desktop and I want to turn off my machine. I want to go somewhere, I want to say, look, I want to turn off the machine. I have to do a multitude of steps to get there, and I'll walk you through some of them, because if we go too far, you won't be able to see what's going on. So let's say I'm on the desktop and I'm using it like you normally would use Windows. I want to get out. Here's what I have to do. I have to go down here at the bottom. I have to click Start. Okay. Then I have to go over here to my icon that says Chris Voss. And then I have to hit Sign Out, Sign Out. Okay. Once I hit Sign Out, I can't take you beyond this or else I'll lose you. But once I hit Sign Out, it takes me to another screen that says, do you want to, that signs me out. But it's another standby screen, which is kind of like a I don't know, just a play screen that has you waiting for you to use it and log in again. Kind of like a standard open login screen that goes, whoever can log in can now log in. Which is really irritating. At that point, you have to go down to the bottom right, look for this little button, and click it, and then wait for the menu to come up that tells you that you can log out, and you have to click it to log out. So you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go through about 5 to 6 clicks to be able to turn off your machine. Very, very irritating. Or just to restart too. You have to do that. So I'm not really excited about that. It's really bothersome about me. I'm not really big on the tiles. Hey, great, it works on a tablet. Big deal. Make a separate version for it. Give me a break. It is very fast. It's very clean. I haven't run into any software problems. I didn't run into blue screens, any crashes. Everything's worked really, really well. The install was very speedy. So that's the Windows 8 release preview for evaluation copy build 8400. I like it so far, and Microsoft has evidently worked really hard to make sure that it's a clean launch, and I'm hopefully that's going to be the case by case. This is interesting. I didn't know you could do this. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that's about that. But evidently I'm adjusting the screen or something. Who knows what that's for. So it'll be interesting to see this in final release. It works pretty much the same way with all the same sort of screens that you would normally find with Control Panel. So anyway, be sure to check it out. Here's Control Panel. I'll show you that. Looks the same as your Windows 7. Nothing to really see here. And most of the menus work the same way. There's not really much to see. So be sure to check it out, and be sure to check into our podcast we have on the Chris Voss Show.com, and be sure to follow up with us for the new Windows 8 version. Thanks for coming by.